What's up, everybody? The Burgos Banter is back yet again with a great guest. My first guest ever on the Burgos Banter. We bring it back with him. We want to do a season wrap-up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the reigning, defending KCAC tournament champion head coach, Matt O'Brien. Thank you so much for coming in today, Coach.
Burgos, the energy. How am I supposed to match that energy today, man?
It's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah,
you know?
Thanks for having me back. I get to come back and visit with you again. We must have I must have done something right to be able to get to come back and visit with you.
We had a hell of a season, to put it that way. Let's just dive right into it. First episode I had you on, it was the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. We didn't really know what was going to happen yet, but we had a good feeling about this team. And then, I think the first big challenge of the year was Benedictine. We down 10 early in that game. Mm-hmm. What were you telling them, and how did you feel during the beginning of the season?
Well, we were very optimistic this year. Before the season, we all loved our guys. We knew we had a special group, and our chemistry was really good, but that Benedictine game was really tough. First of all, they have a really good program with an excellent coach, and they started out in a 1-3-1 zone. Mm-hmm. And in that part of the season, that team never played zone before. They hardly ever play zone, much like us at Southwestern, where we don't play zone. And it was tough for us to just get adjusted in that game. But I think what set the tone for us as a coaching staff was to get the guys to trust us. Because essentially we did the same. We had the same game plan against the 1-3-1 in the first half as we did in the second half. We just asked them to do it a little bit better, and it worked. And sometimes it doesn't. But I think that kind of was the first part of the season that maybe helped build some trust with our players, believing that we know what we're doing.
Yeah, I think on my side, being on the bench, I've never seen this happen before. It was a different experience. Being down 10, thinking, okay, we'll see what happens, and just knowing that your guys had faith and knowing that they'd come back and they just listened to you coach. That was one really good thing. I really enjoyed watching you coach this year, watching you coach this season, and seeing a whole different type of style of coaching. I love how you trust your guys no matter what, and also that you know how to say the right thing at the right time. It's really cool to see.
Well, thanks for that. It's really kind of you to say that. I mean, we just really try to help our guys, and our assistants do such a good job of helping me. Mm-hmm. And then we try to make our message crystal clear and keep the message simple, and I think that helps everybody in the program.
I really think it does. And now we're going to kind of jump around. We talked about the game at Benedictine. Obviously, we played at Paycom Center that we talked about in the first episode. That was amazing this year. Super fun to be a part of the Bridge Builder Classic again. It's always fun to go out there.
Yeah. Is Alton Guidry the best?
Oh, my gosh, he's the best.
That's 2 years in a row that he's taken care of everything for us in the Thunder Arena. This year we added staying in the hotel that was connected to the facility, to the Paycom Center. So as you documented through video so well, the guys wake up, they have breakfast, and they're walking, just 50 feet
not even
to the stadium. And so just the big time feel of what they got to experience is, everything we hoped for out of that game happened as far as the experience wise. And then we played great.
Yeah.
We sure played really well in that game. And we played well in big time environments.
Yeah,
our team all season long in big time games, big time environments, we showed up, and really fun experience. And I know, our staff and even me, just every time I've stood on that floor, it's only been twice. It's just been really, really fun and be able to just kind of stand on the court and soak up the atmosphere. But I can't tell you how happy I am with that's being a great memory for our entire team.
Every single year, I hope we continue to make this happen. Alton calls me his honorary cheerleader, so it's super fun I got to know Alton this year, and he's been a blast to hang out with and get to know and see how much he does for this team. It's really awesome. And the coolest thing about that, you kind of mentioned that, is I was with the guys as well. Waking up the next morning and just looking out your window and seeing Paycom was just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And then the game and the seniors getting to sit on the half court. And if you haven't checked that out, I got a vlog on it, so go check that vlog out for sure. It's super fun. But let's move a little bit down, right? And then we have the Haskell tournament. Uh-huh. That was super fun. Playing a really, really, really good Florida College team in that tournament, coming out victorious out of that one. How did that feel?
What I remember most about that game is the Kevin Clark coming alive.
Yeah.
Like, he was good in the games before that, but when it got tough, like, he just stepped it up another notch. When it get really, really competitive, and when we weren't able to find ways to score, he was scoring the basketball. He 2-on-1 pull-up 3 that he knocked down.
Yep.
One of those, and it's just like everyone in the gym's thinking, what is he doing? Except for me and the rest of the guys on our team who've seen him make so many of those shots. He made some big shots, and then, Jarvis Jennings was really big on defense in that game. And Dang Bull's been consistent all year. He also had a good game, and Andrew O'Brien was very competitive. But, I thought we played really well and were able to beat a good team and go 3-0 in a tournament like that in Lawrence. And that was another experience.
Yeah, so great.
Too. Spend the 2 nights in the hotel and go out to eat and win those games. It was really fun deal.
The crazy thing about it is I think these trips that we had early bonded us even more as a team. Because, we do those bus rides together. We'd all sit and talk during the day. We'd all play card games. We'd all just go in each other's rooms and have a good time. I think it built us as a team even more. Like, not only you see those teams that go out there and, they play and they get to know each other at practice and stuff. But this became such a tight-knit family so early, even before the season kind of started. But with those trips, we had more time to talk, more time to get to know each other. So it built our team bonding, and the way they moved together on the court. You could tell there was more than just that little extra, going the extra mile to make sure they were more than just a team, they were a family. It was super cool to see.
That was the plan. The goal was to provide great experiences for our guys. I want players, if they're looking to go to Southwestern and their parents are looking to make the investment to go to Southwestern, to understand that we're going to provide really cool experiences for their son. And I think we've done that, and that was certainly, a very good experience. And I agree with you. I think the guys really came together early on in the season quickly, and that's part of it. I'm sure people think, man, Coach O'Brien really likes to travel, and Burgos, I do not enjoy traveling.
No.
But we'll do whatever's best for the team. What's best for the team is for us to get together and get out of town and do some things together and experience some new things together. But these guys were worth all the effort it takes to travel and get things done.
Yep, and after that last game, we can't continue this podcast without thanking Mr. Jantz. He took us out for barbecue that night. That barbecue place was amazing.
Yeah, I think, the people that support us and take care of us, helping us with trips, what's really cool for me is they're like some of my best friends, and people that I really respect a lot. Alton Guidry's been a close friend of mine for 20 years. I've known Mr. Jantz for over 20 years. I've known him since my friends' days. Right. And he's been so good to the college and so good to our program and really try to help me as much as possible. And then, I'm sure we'll talk about Mr. Farney more as we get going, because he was what a huge help and boost he was in Florida.
And, we're kind of actually going to move right into conference play, and in between there we'll start talking about that Florida trip pretty soon. Obviously, you start off against Oklahoma Wesleyan. That's such a hard game to start off conference play. You just played this tough 3 back-to-back basically games in a row at this Haskell tournament, and you're moving in right into a fresh, off for a whole week Oklahoma Wesleyan, who has probably scouted the living crap out of you guys and making sure that they knew everything. And I remember being on the bench, and they knew every single little thing they could think of possible. So that first game was tough to start conference play at Bartlesville.
Yeah, I don't think we played well, and I thought Oklahoma Wesleyan, give them credit, played extremely well. We're ready and we're physical, and they beat us up, and they were really, really good that night. And they were just flat out the better team. They were better coached that night, and they beat us. There's just no doubt about it. They were the better at that point in the season. They were the better team.
Yeah, I totally agree. But then the Builders go on a 10-game win streak. After that game in conference play, kind of realized, like, hey, you know what? That loss isn't going to affect us as a team. We're going to continue to grow and continue to get better. How did that feel getting into that win streak?
I don't think about the win streaks like that. And, I don't get too excited. I don't get too high or too low. I was disappointed with the Oklahoma Wesleyan loss, but honestly, I don't get too low with it. I know that it's going to be a long season, and it's not fun to talk about, Andrew, but I'm really just focused on the next practice and then the next game. The most important game is the next game we're playing. But more important than that is the practice before that and the next film session and the next way. It's really just what we do. And I can't look at things of like a 10-game win streak. I don't even remember how that feels.
Yeah. In that 10 game, it's funny. I didn't think about it either. I was so focused on doing the next thing that we needed to do. In that 10-game win streak, we take a trip to Florida, go to Warner College in double overtime, get that win. Let's just, it's probably going to take a little bit, but let's just talk about this Florida trip. Oh my gosh, was it amazing.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
Uh-huh.
I guess we can start with the game.
Yeah.
And the game was, wow, the amount of adversity that was in the game. I mean, we could go through so many things, but our guys were tough, and we stuck together no matter what was going on. And that was what I was most proud of, was to get a double overtime win in Florida against a really good team. They're a lot like Florida College is a lot like Southwestern. Right. I mean, the same coach has been there for 15 years, has been very successful. Mm-hmm. Coach Hanrahan, right. Sean Hanrahan, been very successful for 15 years there. And they're much like us, where they're in the mix of a top 25 every year, and very good at home. And for us to win a game there on the road was really impressive.
That was one of the most interesting games, I think, of the year. You didn't have another double overtime game. It just was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And us being at Florida, just made it even more elevated. You know, we weren't in our element. We weren't used to the game. We weren't used to the gym. So it was just super fun to get that win and get out of there and have a great rest of the time. Because if we lose that game, that trip's a lot different than what we look like afterwards. Because that's all we would have been thinking about.
I agree. Thank goodness. That's what we said. I said many times. I mean, I think the whole trip home back to our living area, I rode with Dr. Don and Jerry. And I just remember Dr. Don just saying several times, thank goodness we won. Yeah. Thank goodness we won. Mm-hmm. Because it would have been hard to, it would have been a lot harder to enjoy the trip if we'd have lost that game.
But, man, after that game, it's really funny. Everything going to there, the flying, the traveling there, was all thinking about that game. But after that game, we had 3 days after that. Oh, my gosh, we just had so much fun as a team. And, we weren't at a hotel. We were at an Airbnb, which was super cool. We had the team had their own house, and we just all kind of got closer and bonded and just had so much fun with it.
Yeah. I alluded to this a little bit at the banquet, but I mean, one of the things I was most proud of and happy with is just no complaining.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we didn't get one complaint from anybody. Whatever the food was, whatever the event we were doing, everyone just kind of made the best of it.
Of course.
And that's what if you're going to be a part of a team, you just you can't tailor everything to be perfect for every single person. You have to have guys that are just willing to do what's best for the team. And what a fun trip. The beach trip was,
oh my gosh.
I think that's probably my favorite memory of the trip, is watching the guys play football on the beach. And then, my dad met me there, which was really pretty cool. I was able to hang out with him and Jerry and Madeline for a few hours there on the ocean. And it was a good day for me because the sun wasn't out, Burgos. Everybody else wanted the sun. Everyone else in Builder Nation and Southwestern basketball wanted the sun out. And I was just like, this is great. I could have a hoodie on, my hat.
Yeah.
But what a great day, and the other events and meals that we had together. It was so much fun, and just so thankful that all the energy and all the work we had to do to make this trip possible, it was all worth it to see guys like, when you see Dang Bull really happy, it's awesome. And guys like, Jarvis Jennings and Phil Smith, who are just like so thankful, for everything that we did. And just like, Coach, the house was great. This was great. No matter what we ate, it was great. The flights, even though they, we had
the first way there was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we got the most bargain flights you could get, so it wasn't the most convenient travel. But we were able to do it, and no one complained about anything, and everyone had a good time. And I think you're right, Andrew. I think you're right. We grew closer together, and our bond was strong. And when we needed each other the most, we were there for each other.
Yep. And we can't get past Florida without talking about Mr. Farney.
Yes.
He got to come in our locker room and give us a post-game speech. Man, that was powerful, and it was strong. It was great to hear from a man like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great American hero, and he's my hero. I mean, just you can just, when you're around him, his positivity just shines through to everybody he meets. And Burgos, I can't tell you how much he's encouraged me through the years. And when we, there were times where, if you look through Southwestern basketball over the last 15 years, we had like a 5 or 6 year stretch where it's like 16-15, 17-13, 15-14, and like we're trying as hard as we can't get over the hump. And he's encouraging me every step of the way, saying telling me that he believes in me and he knows that hard work's going to work, and he appreciated what we were doing outside the classroom or inside the classroom, and then in the community. His encouragement through the years, just I think it really helped, and then his support again, and how proud he is of Southwestern College and our basketball program just means a lot to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Mr. Franny was such a great person to listen to and just kind of sit there and take it all in. So much history. He's helped us college so much. He's done so many things here at Southwestern. So it was super cool to be a part of and kind of just let him talk and listen to it. And then he did the pictures. My favorite part, if you look at our selfie after the win, he's holding up the 4 with all the guys, which that's so cool.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome because why he does that is he's a great teammate. That's all he knows how to do is be positive and be a great teammate. He knows what it's like to be a part of a team, and that's why he was so successful. I mean, he was the leader of in the military. He was the leader of men there, and then he did insurance, and he was a leader of all kinds of folks all over the country, and was highly successful. And with that success, he's been able to give back to Southwestern in so many ways. Yeah. Farney Plaza, Farney Fitness Center, our locker room. He did a lot of stuff. There's a classroom. I took a picture of a classroom and sent it to him a month ago. He's like, yeah, I forgot about that, and that he helped contribute to remodel and do so many things. He's given in so many ways. Most of all, I think, is his positive spirit that's made the most difference.
I couldn't agree with you more. So that's kind of the first half of the season. Then there's always like 3 little parts. Before Christmas break, after Christmas break, and postseason basketball. So now we're going to move to the after Christmas break. You start off with Friends in Bethel at home. Those games are kind of fueled by yourself. You got to bring the energy. No students are here. And it's really funny that those games were Bethel and Friends, one of kind of Southwestern's top rivals. And it was unfortunate because we couldn't pack that place out.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you looked at Friends in Bethel game, the community showed up.
Yeah, that was how awesome was that?
Yeah.
When you think, okay, we got Southwestern, we're going to Winfield when the students aren't there. If I'm another coach, I'm like, oh man, you really dodged a bullet. But our community, it's unreal the amount of support we had this year. Builder Nation is strong. It's alive. It's a real thing. Builder love is a real thing, and it was there over. When we needed them the most, they were there for us, and they really propelled us in those first 2 games after Christmas break.
Yeah, this is when it really got moving, and we continued on. That's when the 10-game winning streak unfortunately came to an end as we traveled to K-Dub and played at K-Dub, and it was just down early, and you really couldn't get. We got the spark back. It was just that deficit at the beginning, being down 10-0 early, kind of cost us that game. We had to continue to fight back, and they just had enough to barely beat us at the end.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you could see that we would be resilient. But that start was horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
We took against a really great team. You can't take 3 or 4 quick bad shots and miss them and expect to win. We learned a lot from that game. And, their team played great. They had a great Kansas Western was a great basketball team this year. And I believe they took it to us from the start. And, that obstacle, I think, helped us propel to, come up with some other solutions.
I think that is exactly what I was thinking as well. Final score of that one was 83-77. The reason I bring that up because it doesn't sound like at the end, but that game, really that second half of the game was just a battle. It was a battle the whole time, and K-Dub came out victorious, so it happens. Let's move into the next. We beat Alvala here at home, a 92-68 game, really bounced back from K-Dub, like, hey, we're not gonna let this define us. But then, in my opinion, one of the best games of the year, definitely top 3, at home versus Oklahoma Wesleyan, number 4 versus number 2. We had ESPN Wichita here. We lost 75-73, but my gosh, just walk us through this game on your perspective.
Well, they were on fire from the start. On fire. We kind of sagged off. Litschke killed us in the first game. I mean, is he a stud?
My gosh.
He's a really good player. And so we sagged off a couple of their shooters who statistically didn't shoot it that well. And I think they went like 4 or 5 or something like that from 3. Mm-hmm. And they got a big lead early on. But, again, we just continued to battle back. And then at the end, we drew up a play that we executed perfectly and just weren't able to. We had a chance to tie it in and out.
Yep.
But I was really proud of the way we executed at the end of the game. And I think that was an important lesson for our guys I know everyone cares about the results, but as a teacher of the game, I was really happy of how we executed under pressure in the biggest game where we were able to run our stuff to perfection.
And this is kind of the biggest part of the year, in my opinion. The biggest season-defining moments of the year are right here in this little patch. You go against Oklahoma Wesleyan, you lose that game, tough, hard-fought game, one of the best games I've watched all year. Mm-hmm. Then you go to Ottawa, lose that one. It was just a battle back and forth. Then you go to Sterling. You won St. Mary's in between. They come back, and then we go to Sterling and lose by a buzzer beater. These are game-defying, season-defying moments. How are you going to take these in? If you take it in the wrong way, your season could be over and go the wrong direction.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we've been there before. That was a really tough stretch for us, where it's one of those things just are not going well. We got some good shots at the end of that Ottawa game that I like.
Oh yeah,
I really like the shots and then. The Sterling kids at the end of that game, they made some tough shots.
Yeah.
Rollerson's, if you're going to go one-on-one versus Dang at the end of the game.
And make it.
When we're like, hey, we're going to clear out and go against Dang, I'm like,
go ahead.
I'm taking my chances. And he just made a tough shot.
Right.
It really made a tough shot. That's how good Dang is, too. Just didn't shake his confidence. He's ready to go the next game. But we just weren't playing well during that time. And I think it has a lot to do with, I probably could have made a better decision for our team earlier in the season and went bigger.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest mistake I made in the season was to go with, Andrew O'Brien at the 5 and go small and play 5 guards. And I do think we got better with just playing a 5-man.
Let's talk about it. Zach Hildago.
Mm-hmm.
You put him in the starting lineup, and my golly, he has done great. Since the beginning of the year, you saw him get more and more minutes, and he's gotten better and better and better. He has really accepted his job and thrived at it.
Yeah, he has. And, we did get better when we put him in the starting lineup, and he did play well, and he did his role. But I want to be clear, it's not like the changes we made in the starting lineup, it wasn't even like someone was playing terrible.
Right.
It was just like, hey, we just got to make a change in our rotation, and we need to play a little bit bigger, and it helped us. And so, credit goes to Cooper Pierce, who I took out of the starting lineup and then back in, and Jarvis Jennings, whose lineup, his minutes changed a little bit, and Phil Smith, we went with the center, and some of the minutes, changed for some of the guys, but they were bought in, and that's why you can end the season on a good note.
Yep, and now we're going to head into February, kind of last little half before postseason. We go to York on that charter. Fun trip. It's funny. We were thinking, oh man, this drive's going to be a little bit long on the team side in the back, and going there was tough. But one of my favorite memories actually is on the way back. We were all on our phones playing poker together in a poker room, and we were just having fun, laughing. The girls are trying to sleep, and we're just all laughing in the back because someone just had a great hand. So that was a fun trip, and going to York is always hard to play.
Yeah, it is. That was our only charter of the season. We took the vans everywhere else, but. Yep. We did enjoy that charter for the, 9 hours and getting back at 2:00 in the morning. Thank goodness we did that. But yeah, it was another tough game. It's always tough to go to York, Nebraska and get a win. And we were able to get a win there, and really fortunate how tough our guys are. Whatever the element is, they're going to come together and play hard.
So then we go to McPherson. We beat McPherson, and then one of the biggest games, another one that kind of was season-defining, in my opinion, was senior night against Bethany. Bethany was hot, beating Oklahoma Wesleyan, beating Kansas Wesleyan, really starting to figure things out. And, you made it clear that we do not lose on senior night. You've never lost on senior night. and it was a clear, defining win, 89-63. Walk me through that, Bethany.
Burgos, I'm not really sure if we never lose on senior night, but I'm trying to make the guys believe that. I don't know the stats on that, but I'm trying to put pressure on them. And the pressure is because I know they love Dang.
Right.
They love Coop.
Right.
RJ, Carson. We've got a great group of seniors, Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
I know they don't want to let the seniors down. So I put that peer pressure on everybody and I only do that on good teams, that kind of peer pressure, because it might work if the guys are not mentally tough.
Right.
That strategy doesn't work, but we really wanted to put pressure on those guys to go out and give a really good effort for our seniors, and we certainly did.
I couldn't agree more. Let's talk about the seniors right now. Great group of individuals helped this team in so many ways.
I'd like to start with Aiden Fields, actually.
Yeah.
We started suiting him up after Christmas, and he came to Florida trip and started suiting up then. Me giving him his jersey with his name on the back was probably one of the most fun moments of the season for me, because he's just such a good kid, and he's all about the team, and he's a good student, and you make the right decision when you see him just out there serving the guys in warm-ups and huddles and everything else. And I mean, he did a super job for us on the bench. Carson Loya also did a good job for us on the bench, taking care of things. Cooper Pierce, I'm so happy he ended the season on a good note. Your one shining moment video, if fans haven't got a chance to see that, it's posted on Facebook and Twitter under SE Men's Basketball, was awesome. His shot, Cooper Pierce from the wing.
Get in there.
Yes. Kurt Caden. Yeah, Kurt Caden's the best. But, Cooper ended his season on a really great note, and his career. He put 5 years in. He wanted the championship, and he got it. Really happy for him. He was so fun to coach. I love Coop. Dang Bull. I mean,
dog.
Yes. Think about who you're gonna get to replace Dang. We're not replacing Dang. Burgos.
No.
We're not replacing a guy with that kind of character in defense and then quickness to score on offense. We're not replacing that. Who am I leaving out?
I think that's everybody. Oh, RJ, and
I'm happy for RJ.
Yeah.
He got himself going and eligible in second semester, and he contributed in one of the Sterling games. The Sterling game, we brought him off the bench, and he gave us a really good boost. And he was another guy with really good talent who could have played for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Just where we were at in the season, he really brought energy in practice every day. And it's, the thing about guys like RJ is, if you could have a guy with his kind of talent buying into his role, then some of the other guys are like, man, I better buy. I need to buy. If he can buy into his role, I can buy into my role.
Yeah, I think you saw that, and RJ just was really there for the team. Even when he wasn't playing, he was still with the guys, just making sure everyone's doing okay. So that's what I loved about him. And this senior class was really, they were leaders. Every single one of them was leaders, whether it was on the bench, whether it was helping, anything. They were always there for us, and I can't thank them enough. And it was just super fun to be a part of that team and watching these guys get highlighted on that Bethany game against senior night. And it was just, we were just floor to the metal. We were heavy. We were just ready to go. And it was just a fun, exciting game the whole time. But now we'll kind of transition. We last game against Friends. I know it just, Friends is always fun for you and for this team. It's a close drive, and everyone's excited to go to the game. And it was tough early, but the end of the game, we really put the pedal to the metal again and just kind of gave them that knockout punch at the end.
Well, that's what we do. Southwestern basketball, we're in good shape, and we play our best basketball at the end of games, and we play our best basketball at the end of the season. It's our DNA. It's who we are. And I think it has a lot to do with Locke Schnelly and all the work he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best, and the amount of grit and consistency that Locke has. I mean, it's just like every day helping our guys and our guys to buy into the routine. As you know, Andrew, it doesn't go away.
Nope. Every day.
Every day. It's not a lot, but it's 15 minutes every day of taking care of yourself with foam rolling and stretching, and then another 10 or 15 minutes in the training room. Again, what I do like about this is boring details, Andrew, that no one else is interested in but me.
Hey, it's all that matters.
But what I like about the training room is they can still be on their phone at that time. They can study, so it's not like I don't think it really affects their day too much. But we see the benefits late in the season.
And Locke makes it fun. He's got
He
TVs
does.
all around, make sure we can watch sports and stuff like that. Locke always is great for a conversation. We're always talking down there. That's what makes it more fun. Shout out to Locke, man. He's done such a great job here. He's definitely one of the greatest athletic trainers I've ever seen.
No
He just
doubt.
knows what he's doing, and he's had so much respect. All of the coaches and all the athletes around here respect him so much.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where, like, he's definitely, I'll say, Locke, was I too mean? And he's like, well, when he does that, I know I need to say I'm sorry. And, and then I'll be like, another time, like, was I wrong on that? And he'll be like, nope. And I'll know everything's. So, I mean, he's definitely the voice of reason.
Oh, yeah.
At Southwestern College. And he is one of the best leaders I've ever been around.
I couldn't agree more.
And truly the best servant leader on campus. I mean, the amount of work he does for everybody here on campus is amazing.
And he's got kids at home.
Yep.
And he makes sure that he has still time for his family. And that's what I love most about him, honestly, is he still makes sure that he's with his family.
Yeah.
He does his work here, but also makes sure he has time for his family. That's a big thing that I want to do in the future with my kids,
And he's a great role model.
He really is.
And that's why I love having him around. And it was so great to have him on the Florida trip. I loved watching him have fun at the Florida trip.
Yeah.
He kind of opened up and had a good time. And that was a lot of fun for me. But I want people around like Locke that, our guys can look up to. And I'm glad you really need to look up to him and emulate him because, I mean, he gets it done in all areas of his life.
He really does. So now it's time for postseason play. KCAC
Right.
Championship.
My
Four
favorite
seed.
time gets to
4
postseason.
seed. Yeah, let's talk about it. A 4 seed. I understand. I don't like the seed. This is me being a homer here. I'm like, we're better than a 4 seed, and we proved it. But just walk me through. We're going to start going right into this Bethany game. Last home game of the year at SC, and boy, Bethany came back with vengeance. It was only, I think, 10 days after we played them at senior night. They came in with vengeance, and they wanted to win that basketball game.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we did deserve the 4 seed. So we were tied with Bethel, and the tiebreaker was Bethel beat Oklahoma Wesleyan, and we did not. So I was actually okay with it.
Okay.
And obviously it worked out for us, but how good was Bethany that night?
Oh, my gosh.
They, you know what?
They shot lights out.
Yeah, they shot lights out. They played extremely well. I think they had 5 seniors, Burgos.
5 or 6.
That all played. And that were their best players. They were all in, and then there was their last effort to have, they needed to make a run with that team with as many seniors and good players as they had, and this was their chance to make a run. They played extremely well. What happened was Kevin Clark.
Yep.
I just can't believe what he was doing out there.
Yeah.
I mean, their length inside, they were like 6'7", like 210, really good athletes inside, length. He was taking it right to them.
Did not care.
He was taking it to them. It was one of the best performances I've seen in the field house in my 15 years in the field house. And, people was like, yeah, no big deal. He's a good player. Hey, we've had Cameron Hunt in there.
Right.
Cameron, I hope you're listening to this. I hope you tune into this. I mean, it rivals one of your performances. I mean, just it was truly Cameron had some big time games.
Oh,
Cameron Clark had some big time games. Chris Waller, we've had 11 All-American seasons here. So we've had big time games here. Andrew Ham had a 30-point half here once. I mean, so we've had some. I think it might have been the best performance I've seen in the field house.
Really?
I mean, he just the amount of grit that it took, because things weren't going that great for us, but we weren't playing that well, but man, we didn't give in and we were playing hard, and boy, he made tough shots down the stretch for us.
End of the game. The Builder fans get what they want. They storm the court. That was so much fun to be a part of.
Yeah, and you see Kevin dancing around with everybody, and Jarvis and Phil and a lot of the guys, Trey White, they were having a really good time.
And that's just something for me, the exclamation point to end the season off at home like that, just to have a good time with it. It was one of the coolest experiences of the year, just having the fans come out and just celebrating with the fans, dancing on center court, the SC chant. It was just so much fun.
The SC chant, it really does mean a lot to me now when we can get that going. There's been a couple times this year That was really fun.
Yeah.
It's just like the pride that we have, Builder Nation. Especially this year, it's been a tough year for us at the school.
Yep.
And to have those moments where we all come together is really fun and special, particularly this year.
Yep. And then it's redemption time. Go to Oklahoma Wesleyan in
Yeah.
Bartersville, Oklahoma. It's funny, not if you're not a part of the organization, you probably didn't know, but those practices were chill, were easy. You could tell everybody was locked in and just ready to go to Bartlesville and win that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, at that point in the season where the practices are not intense.
No.
It's really recovery and mentally, what little changes can we make mentally to our guys to get them just a little bit mentally stronger, and then just fine-tune the game plan just a little bit. Because as you know, I don't like to make very many changes.
No.
Because my philosophy is let's get the guys not thinking and just attacking and playing free. But we make a couple little changes. We really utilize a couple of set plays in that game that worked really well. Coach Mack came up with a new set for the playoffs that really was quite nice for us. It worked very well. And then, we played one of our best games of the season. If not, we probably played our best game of the season when we needed it most.
I agree. We started a new pregame warm-up, a little bit different. And this is a moment I'll never forget, I don't think, in my life. And it was just so, I had a feeling we were going to win, and then we got in that building, and I just knew it. I just knew it by the way the players were acting, by the way we were acting. Like we were all locked in, ready to go. The only thing I was focused on is winning that game. We're out there doing our warm-ups, and they bring a motorcycle out. Lights go off. Lights are off, motorcycles revving and stuff. We're trying to warm up. Mm-hmm. And I look at you, and you're just like, let's go right now. And you could just tell the warm-up continued, and that fire just started to build up as a team, and we were ready to go.
Yeah, I think the guys were ready. And, the adversity, adversity is pure joy. Yeah. And if any adversity we see, it just, gives you more of an opportunity to play well if you have that mindset. And I think our team certainly did. We turned that adversity into joy, and we played with joy on the court.
Yep, from tip to the final buzzer. I don't think really Oklahoma Wesleyan have mini spurts every once in a while, but they are Oklahoma Wesleyan. You have to be worried about them at all times.
I know I certainly was. Yeah. And you might have felt comfortable, but I probably wasn't comfortable in that game until there's like 20 or 30 seconds left because they are ultimate competitors. They're much like us. They don't give in, mm-hmm. and they're very, very good and can score in a hurry. Yeah, it was a big-time win for us and one of the big highlights of the season.
98-73, the final score of that game. That just thinking about that, there's not many games like that where you're like, wow. But like I said, I in my opinion, I knew that we were – and Jarvis Jennings that game, back-to-back and ones. That was a huge energy build for the team, for the bench, and like, hey, because – they were getting a little bit of a run, and those back-to-back and ones really got something going.
Yeah, I think that was like I feel like one of his best games, if not his best game, because I think he had like 9 or 10 points in as many minutes.
Yeah.
And then just super active, and that punch off the bench was outstanding.
It was. It really was. So now we move in. We beat Oklahoma Wesleyan, and we go to the KCAC championship game at Hartman Arena against Bethel. A really close rival here. The football has a little thing with them. We have a thing with them for sure in basketball. They beat us last time at Bethel, so that's still fresh on our minds. But we just walk us in. What are you thinking going into Bethel?
It's the one-day championship game, so it's just like, and I'm thinking I want our guys to be ready, but this is probably where being a dad helps me a little bit. I really want everyone to enjoy the experience because the KCAC does a great job.
They did.
Dr. Crawford, the KCAC commissioner, he deserves a lot of credit for what he has created, the buzz and atmosphere at Hartman Arena. It's an event, an all-day event.
Yep.
So I really wanted us to enjoy the day. And I wouldn't have done that 10 years ago, Burgos, when we first started going. We're fortunate enough to play several times there and win a couple championships there. I wouldn't have done that. I'd probably been too nervous, but I really wanted everyone to enjoy the day. And that was I knew our team would be prepared. We played Bethel several times, wanted to enjoy the day, and we certainly did enjoy the day.
I think that's a really interesting point. We enjoyed the crap out of that day. I think it was super fun. We left with the buses about 11 o'clock from SC just kind of took it all in. We're talking, having a good time. Shoot around there was very light, very easy, just stretching around, having fun, just getting to know the court and stuff like that, because that court is different with the depth perception and stuff like that. But moving into it, I had we had so much fun at Applebee's. I know that sounds weird, but we were all just laughing it up, having a good time, being the team that we've been all year, just enjoying every second. And then we get to game time, everybody's locked in, and shoot around happens, doors open. Bethel student fans come in hard. They're 12 minutes away from the stadium. They come in super hard. They're talking their smack the whole time. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a long night. And then right before tip-off, I look behind us, and I see a sea of purple. Yeah. I mean, a sea of purple.
Yes.
An hour away, and we did better than Bethel. Builder Nation showed up. I know you didn't really get to notice until the end, and you saw that picture on social media that kind of, I'll put it up here to show people what it's like. Just amazing. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah. Thank goodness we have the video, and I saw a little bit of it after the game. But to be honest with you, Burgos, I actually never look back and never even know how many people are there. I'm so locked into what I'm doing that I don't even feel or have a sense of the crowd too much. But until that night, because it was simply amazing. I think, things only happen like that if you have great leadership. And our president gives us great leadership from the top. Her spirit and, the way she serves all of us as faculty and staff. I mean, I think that just shines through. And then, Coach Griff getting his football team there. The baseball team, Coach Dawson had the baseball team there. And there's all kinds of sports there.
Women's basketball team.
Yeah, they showed up. They showed up with a really great group. And everyone was excited. And it was really awesome. I mean, one of the best things to see all those people there supporting us.
Kevin Clark took 4 charges. Dang Bull had like 3 or 4 threes. You don't see that very often in a game. It was just everything was kind of clicking. We've talked about it a lot. One of my favorite highlights, Drew misses a 3, goes back, gets his own rebound, goes back and shoots another 3, and it goes in. It's one of my favorite highlights.
That's my favorite highlight because I just like things with mental toughness and grit and hustle. So that's kind of, I'm sure our fans like Dang's dunk. And
that was nice too.
Kevin makes big time plays that are very exciting to watch. My favorite play is probably Andrew O'Brien and that rebound. It's just, the little extra effort of running after it and then they have the mental toughness to come right back to it and shoot it. Those plays mean a lot to me. The teacher part of all we're doing, all the things we're trying to do to prepare them to play their best and to be mentally tough in the big moments. When you see some of those things happen, that's really fun.
And if you haven't been able to watch the game, if you didn't watch the game, go on my YouTube channel, just a little bit down. I have the home audio from Kurt calling the whole KCAC championship game. I had a good feeling. I know I hate to be cocky, but I was like, I knew we were going to win this game. So I'm glad
you feel that way.
Yeah, so I made sure. I said, I have to have this game archived forever.
Okay.
Kurt calling this game, I have to have it archived forever. I want this to live in history, in Southwestern College history, that they can go back and listen to this game whenever they want. Well, little did I know that there was a way I could download the video with help with our SID, Brennan, to make sure I had it. Yeah. So then I synced it up, and now it's on YouTube. It's so much fun to go back and watch, especially those last minute, Solo gets the rebound, you hear Kurt go, I feel better now. You can just feel the passion in his voice and how excited he was.
Yeah. For fans who want to get a sense of it, again, go to that one shining moment, and we really just highlight Kurt Caden's calls almost the entire time. I get chills. Andrew, I've watched it probably 25 times. I get chills every single time I watch it. Yep. It's really fun. I'll probably watch it again today.
Of course.
I just, I love listening to his calls and then to watch the guys do so well. I think this is one of the things our guys do not understand this at all who play for us. As you know, I'm driving them every day to get better. And I'm like constantly critiquing them. I'm not vulgar with them when I'm making it, but it's hard to take critique every single day the way constantly saying you need to do this a little better, that a little bit better.
Right.
But what they don't know is how much of a fan I am of them.
Right.
I mean, I'm actually a fan of Dang Bowl.
Of course.
I rather watch Dang Bowl than watch somebody in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have 5 minutes talking to Dang Bowl than with an NBA player. I loved watching Dang Bowl play, watch Kevin Clark play. I love watching Kevin play. I mean, I'm a big fan of his competitiveness and his shooting.
Yeah.
And Andrew O'Brien, his passing. I am a huge fan of watching him pass.
So good.
I watch him pass. Phil Smith's athleticism, watching him on the break. There's a lot of our guys. And, I'm a fan of watching Cooper Pierce, how much progress he's made.
Yeah.
And thinking, I got to see him from the start to the finish, how good he is now. All of our Trey White, watching him watching him lurk to get an offensive rebound.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that. Jarvis Jennings, I'm just a big fan of him in general, all on and off the court. His spirit.
Yep.
Anybody who's around him knows his spirit. And but all of our guys, I'm a fan of them, and just to really, that one shining moment, just to get to watch them and watch my favorite team. My favorite team is Southwestern College men's basketball.
Yep.
And to get to enjoy that. Thank you for the memories you provided for us.
It was so worth it. It's so worth every second. The end of that game, I gotta highlight it. It's the Bethel fans were talking smack the whole time. The student section at the end of the game, Kevin Clark just turns and waves. It's just so funny, and then everybody just goes down there and tackles him. We get a big dog pile right next to Kurt, and he's calling the game. He's right there. You can just see the smile on his face. I'm tearing up a little bit thinking about it because I love this team and I love this school so much, and to think that all this journey, and we got to see football do it. We were watching the game on the way home and just know that it was our turn, and we got there and we knew we got it. It was just one of the coolest experiences. The rest of those next 2 hours of us just celebrating and inside the locker room with the waters and just all these things that we'll get to see for the rest of our lives through the video, which I'm so thankful we have in pictures. It was just the best day. It was so much fun to live.
Hard work pays off.
Yep.
And that's hopefully the message that those guys got from this season is it wasn't going perfect the whole season, but we were consistent with our work.
Yep.
Day in and day out, and we just kept going in every day trying to get better, and then, it finally came all together at the best part of the year. And then we all got to enjoy it.
Couldn't agree more. Let's head on to the selection show. We get ready. There's two host sites in Wichita. Unfortunately, we didn't get into Wichita. It was interesting to watch that and see. We don't really know the process behind that, and we're working there's new stuff with the RPI and all that information that's coming in that the NAIA is starting to build on and stuff like that. So not getting in Wichita, I know it kind of stinked because we wanted the fans to be there, and I know I did. I'm not speaking for the team, but I'm just speaking on my part of the fan part of side. So I knew if we were in Wichita, we were going to do the same thing we did at Hartman. Yeah. So it was unfortunate, but we weren't that far in Langston, Oklahoma. Traveled to Langston, played Northwestern Iowa first. Very tough team. Walk me through that game.
Man, they've got a legend for a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's double-digit national tournament appearances. I think he has a national title, but I've watched him. I used to work the national tournament, Andrew. I'd go and watch all 32 games. Wow. When it was at one site for 5 years in a row. I watched every single game, and they had some really good teams in those days, and they have a great program. I knew it was going to be a tough game. We just grinded it out at the end. 87-82
final score. Trey Abasolo hits that three kind of by our bench to give the Builders the lead and kind of get that spark going with about, I think, 2 minutes to go left in that basketball game. That was a huge shot.
That was a huge shot, and Kevin Clark's little runner off, he has a little runner wrong foot, 8-foot jump shot that he made look easy, but was a really tough shot.
Yeah, that was.
But again, we battled through. They exposed us in some areas inside, but we just battled through and stuck together and were able to win the game.
It was a heck of a basketball game.
Yes,
super fun to be a part of. Just great basketball back and forth. And then, of course, in Langston, Oklahoma, Langston wins the first game, and here comes the big dog. You got to play Langston at Langston with a packed, sold-out crowd. Man, let's just talk about Langston's environment. That environment was crazy. It was new. It was awesome to witness.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an unbelievable environment. I really enjoyed their band.
That band was amazing.
Yes, especially when we weren't playing them.
Oh, yeah.
We just were able to. I had 5 minutes of that. They were awesome. And then their national anthem was awesome. When the band played the national anthem, it was really great. The amount of energy and excitement and enthusiasm in that gym was just tremendous. And man, did they come out on fire. And they played a really great game. I think they have a great coach.
I agree.
They have a great coach. They have great players. They're playing at home, and they beat us.
Yep. And I think, it was a tough game back to back. It was hard fought. Both teams played really well. That environment, that gives you at least a 4 to 5 point advantage, in my opinion, when it comes to that. When you have that place packed, rocking, like they were ready to go 3 hours before the game. Like they were just wanting to get in there.
Yeah, I think what's easier for me to take with going to that home site was they do have a really good coach, had a good game plan. Not that we can anticipate what kind of things I thought they would do, but they've got a good coach and they shot the ball extremely well. And so they beat us, Burgos. They were the better team.
We are 3 wins away from Matt O'Brien's 300th win at Southwestern College. That's crazy. How's that feel?
It feels good, but just proud, honestly, to be last that long. It's hard to just even coach 300 games, let alone get a chance to win 300 games. But just a lot of hard work, and I'm really proud. I think, Andrew, I'm most proud of being able to take the hits through the years.
Yeah.
Because to be able to do that, especially other coaches will know the amount of hits you've had to take. People second-guessing you, things not going well, a player, transfers, you didn't get the recruit, but can you keep going? And that's what we've been able to do.
And now, as we'll wrap it up, 26-7 on the year, KCAC championship, and this season was just fun. What are your thoughts on the season in the whole?
Overall, I'm so pleased with the year. I know some of the guys postseason, they can be thinking, why didn't we play in Wichita? We want to switch that mindset in what are we going to do next season?
Right.
And not why weren't we there. What are we have to change the question. What are we going to do to make sure we're playing in Wichita? And that needs to be our focus going into next year. This year was great, but it's already on to next year. And what can we do? How can we improve?
Yep, the recruiting trail's already started. We're already pretty big into that right now, getting that going, and it's been fun to see that side. Never got to see that side, so walk me through kind of how you think this recruiting trail has done so far.
Well, we're very fortunate to have such a great staff. Coach McSorley and Coach Gabler have done a lot of the work with recruiting. We've done showcases in Texas, a couple in Texas. We've had one here. So recruiting is going well. It's a waiting game right now. We're trying to finish up. So, I'm excited about our work. We still have to finish.
Yeah.
So you can work as hard as you can, but you got to finish and get the job done.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for coming on today, Coach.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Matt O'Brien. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's always fun having Coach in here. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, like, and comment what your favorite part of this podcast was. It is always so much fun to do these. So we will have another one coming up pretty soon. Thank you guys so much. Peace.